Hello, 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 hello. We are entering the new moon week from March 10th to the 15th. New moon, heart-centered space, very much heart-aligned energy. And I am here to do a weekly intuitive insight as to the energies that are helping us expand and grow and helping us navigate this life that we are creating. My name is Jackie Ellis. I'm an intuitive guide and mentor. Some call me an energetics master. I am so excited to be doing these energy insights to really delve deep into hearing our soul talk to us and understand the growth and expansion and the life that our soul knows that we desire and our soul knows that we deserve. So, with that being said, let's talk about what it means, what to look for. First of all, what to look for in a new moon week when it comes to shadow moments, or like, how do we know we are in the middle ground? How do we know we aren't in the extremes? And what are the connections to the chakras as well as the laws of the universe? So I'm going to explain that right now. So when you are in the middle ground, you're being in flow, which means for this week, it is showing yourself and others an unconditional love and compassion. It's like no expectation around, like, I'm only going to give that person love because under these situations. No expectations, no conditions around the love. Showing yourself and others unconditional love and compassion, and knowing that you are worthy of receiving that unconditional love and compassion for yourself by yourself. You have it naturally flowing through you. It's understanding what that feels like, what it looks like in your life within yourself, so that you can fully receive and know it. Accepting balancing opportunities no matter what. Balancing opportunities. Knowing inner peace is valued and will be worthy. Knowing value in the journey and what is of value. Knowing you are supported by the divine energy flowing through your soul. And being willing to forgive so that you can experience abundant opportunities in growth and expansion. Through growth and expansion. Shadow moments when you're in the extremes. It's limiting beliefs for worthiness causing self-sabotaging behaviors, reactions. People-pleasing patterns, abandonment reactions. So you're reacting to abandonment or potential abandonment. It's being easily influenced to compromise your values and worth. It's trouble letting go and forgiving. It's feeling unsupported. And you may have tired arms or a driven need to constantly do everything except what brings you worthiness in life. It's like busy work that isn't really worthy of your time and effort. Done in avoidance. Your heart chakra, your center for balance and happiness, is what is impacted most this week. And the laws of the universe that flow through that heart chakra, that center for balance and happiness, is the law of directional energy, law 1, the law of divine timing, 2, the law of free will, 3, the law of polarity, 4, the law of balance, 8, the law of forgiveness, 9, the law of happiness, 13, and the law of inspired action, 14. So you have, this is the most laws of the universe that flow through a single chakra, guiding you and helping you establish your life goals, establish how you want to create your life, how you feel about it, how you desire to have, like, what is that burning desire on your heart when it comes to your life, how you want to be, how you want to react, how you want to live in it, what experiences you want to have, how that all looks, how that all feels. It is the starting point for manifestation. It is the middle point, the bridge between and that actually activates those manifestations in balance for your life. And it is the bridge between your healing and the actions that you take that lead to abundance. And then after you receive that abundance, it's also showing you and encouraging you to notice the happiness you feel from achieving those abundance and experiencing those abundance experiences, and helping you feel inspired enough to keep going. Having a balanced chakra that is empowered, has empowering energy flowing through it to help you light up your life, to align with your passions, to create a life worth living. This is the week. This is the week to truly delve into making sure that that heart chakra is truly pumping life into your life. Are you ready? It's a good one. We're in a Pisces new moon. Full on emotional energy this month. And if you have not seen my energy insight for the month, I encourage you to look at that as well, because it will give you a deeper dive into the energies, overall energies for the month, and how it applies to the 6 pillars of your life. It'll allow you to explore different ways that you can grow and expand and deepen that understanding that you have about your life goals and the pillars, and how they may be impacted by the energies, impacted or helped by the energies that are flowing this month. So, with that being said, let me get on to this new moon week. So March 10th to the 15th. There are many that want to leave the past behind and focus upon new ideas and seek clarity for how to do that. It's understandable. It's understandable, those building energies that we've been feeling since 2022. It's inherent in a lot of people. But they're tired of beating the same drum and want change in the world. Some are taking the initiative to be the change they need for their own life, starting with shedding old paradigm beliefs and trusting in how their soul is guiding them to love themselves and give themselves the grace to expand into the life they are intentionally creating for themselves. Whether you are intending to look for change in the world before shedding your beliefs, or choosing to create change within yourself and your life now, your intentions for how you want to live your life matters. change and the desire for change is inherent in the energy this year, this month, and this week. This week is no different. The energies are centered around an emotional connection and how your emotional responses are impacting movement towards the change that you desire. So the energies this week are centered around your emotional connections to how you respond emotionally, and how how you respond emotionally will be connected to the movement you see or feel able to do to make the changes that you want to make. So it's understanding that emotional connection, and it's being driven home this week. From a high level, emotional energy is a driving force for change this month and this week. We have the opportunity to transform resistance that is felt within by noticing and going with the energetic flow, ultimately working with the energy. Okay? The goal is to work with the energy, not against it. Usually how I go with it, as I go with the flow. I instead of going against the grain, I work with the energy. For those that hate to face emotions or have mastered avoiding or pushing away the emotion, this month and week could be in the extremes. Could find yourself in the emotional extremes. I don't like roller coaster moments. I don't like scattered energy. Tend to notice it. Don't allow being in it, being more in flow and allowing the energy. So if I find myself in some sort of flow that is very tumultuous, then that's something that I didn't notice. Something that I may have didn't believe I needed to shift. Noticing emotional responses is honoring what you are feeling, allowing yourself to experience and reflect upon it, but intentionally being as graceful as possible with how you project it towards another. So you can honor what you're feeling and still be in like a chaotic emotional turmoil. But it's honoring, okay, I'm in this. I'm in the thick of it. This is what I'm feeling. Experience it, get it out, and allow yourself to reflect upon it, but intentionally be as graceful as you possibly can without projecting it towards another. Now, when you're in those, there may be people that feel like they need to help. And they enter your space, whether that is contacting you personally or energetically feeling into how you're doing. Either way, they're entering your field. And if you've made yourself clear that you need space and they keep doing that, they're going into their own extremes. They are asserting their own self to overstep your boundaries, the space that you were creating to get yourself through that, to help yourself understand what you were going through. And when they do that, it can feel invasive. It can feel disempowering, even though they're trying to help. Because sometimes when people are in that space, that headspace, I'm doing this to help another, it can be blinding to them that they are actually invading and being invasive to someone else's boundaries, because they think they're doing it for someone's best, for highest good. And they're not. When you're in that situation, and I have been in that situation where I've had to get angry and make it extremely clear that I needed them out, because they were not hearing me. They were not honoring the space that I needed to get through what I needed to get through. And I'm okay with that, because in those moments I needed a boundary. I needed the space to be able to work through what I needed to work through emotionally. And so that was the way that I was able to do it. Did they take it as best as they probably, I don't know. Did I try to express what I needed to express without being angry before that? Absolutely. That was not my first reaction. I was intentionally trying to be as graceful as I possibly could until I felt like I had no more. They backed me into a corner, and the only way I could get my boundary back was by asserting and expressing myself in a forthright manner. And I had to give myself grace to be able to do that. I had to give myself grace to be able to forgive myself for getting to that point. I had to own my part in it so that I could move through what I needed to move through and begin healing what I needed to heal. This week could be an emotional week for many. The emotional connections you have this week will be aided by an urge to continue leading a deepening relationship with yourself and your purpose. So it is leading yourself to getting to know yourself and what you need, not only for your life, but for your journey towards a purpose, your journey towards understanding that purpose, your journey within that purpose, knowing what you can do moving forward while being in balance, while being aligned in how you take those actions, how you feel about the actions you are taking. By midweek, you should be able to find your feet by tapping into the emotional connections you have to the actions you are taking towards heart-centered life goals. By the end of the week, the energy will shift back to a desire to change or find new ideas to help with a project, goal, or a shift in personal growth. When you're doing this, ensure your emotional connections to these ideas are known and in alignment with your heart's desires. Life doesn't stay stagnant. Your heart's desires, your life goals may fluctuate, may change. You'll have some that you're working on in various different stages. Others that will stay fairly consistent because they're the ones that give you balance. But then there may be some that have created stagnant energy, created a bit of a boring lifestyle, part of your life, maybe boring or not exciting at all. And it's time to look at that, and that's shown to you, and you'll get some new ideas by the end of the week. It's about noting, it's allowing yourself to flow with the energy. And this is what you can do to use the energy that is there helping you this week. I want you to be aware that communication issues within relationships or business may be difficult this week, as well as maintaining focus on studies or research projects. People, including the media, may find it difficult to express themselves as perceptions will be highly influenced upon personal emotional responses. So your personal or that person's personal emotional response to whatever they're communicating on, or whatever they're expressing, is muddying the waters. It may not be giving facts, or it's giving facts, but it's based on the perception of the other person as it being fact, when it may not be considered fact for you. Maybe there's something maybe missing that you're picking up on. These shakeups have the potential to be a disruption. These miscommunications have the potential to be a disruption, causing separation or discord. So you may see more chaos and separation as people are trying to communicate, and it may inflame in different events around the world. Breathing through the situations before reacting and looking for a different perspective will help you through these moments. So before choosing to go protest something or get sucked in, you could protest, but intentionally choose to know when you're crossing the line for your own self. Are you going to be in that energy, in that experience, whatever experience it is? Are you intentionally going to go and be there, be part of it? How are you going to be? What are you willing to do so that you can look yourself in the eye when you get home later? And know that you honored yourself in those moments. Because the energies that are inherent this week with that miscommunication, potential miscommunication, where people are really highly emotional responsive, they're reacting emotionally, can lead to an extreme that goes beyond your own ethical, moral line. And you'll find yourself cross that line before you even realize it if you're not aware of the potential opportunity to pull you that way. If you're not aware of the energy pulling you in that direction. Release what doesn't fit for information or an experience. And move forward towards your goals, knowing that the additional ideas or beliefs that just happened or were just highlighted cluttered the situation. So the miscommunication, there may be ideas or beliefs that come across as facts that are skewing what's being said. and they're cluttering the situation. Release what doesn't fit, knowing that it may not be as clear as the person intended. Forgiveness and grace are needed for yourself to shake yourself into a truly heart-centered, productive, and creative energy. So it's like shaking off what isn't helping through forgiveness and grace, so that you can enter into a productive and creative energy. Where have you not shown grace within your personal journey? Can you forgive yourself to untether the energy and create more freedom and creative movement towards abundance? The energy empowering you to align with your heart-centered desires or life goals is going to help you find that center, find that heart center space, find the balance. What feels aligned and while you're working on your goals makes them feel easy? Where's the emotional connection? Are you seeing abundant moments consistently? What feels out of reach or misaligned? Why is that? What are the emotional connections to past results or situations that either worked or didn't? Have you been feeling these urges naturally in exploring your life goals, in understanding what's burning desire in your heart? If so, then you were open to seeing possibilities for change in your personal life. You were open to receiving emotional healing and potentially faced an emotional tumultuous experience that shook you enough that looking at your life goals, so you experienced something that was extremely emotional, and it shook you enough, it shook you to your core, that looking at your life goals and knowing what you had to change, knowing that you had to change, make a change for yourself. You knew deep down you had to start making a change for yourself. And it became a priority. A deep longing for change in your life became the emotional connection you needed to stand up and create a life that you desired. You are intentionally choosing to walk the path of knowing yourself on a deeper level, or choosing to know your soul-aligned purpose that lights you up and makes life easier energetically. You are setting out to look for that emotional connection to yourself, how you are choosing to live within this life. You are intentionally creating. Now, is everyone doing this? Many are. And now, are they writing it down on a life goal journal, or are they doing the journaling? Or no, not always. But many are desiring change, and they're intentionally looking for change, ways to change their life. They're intentionally fighting for a way forward. Those desiring change in the world wonder why they chose to be here during this time. Wonder what they can do to create change in their life. It's a common thread under many disempowering influences that are reflected in the media. Wars, famine, civil unrest. The list goes on. It's an emotional connection driving change for life going forward, both personally and in many different industries. How people choose to find ways to make change in their life matters. One can be disempowering towards another by fighting in chaos and projecting anger and frustration, encroaching someone's boundaries, invading someone's space. Mostly because they aren't feeling heard. But maybe both sides aren't feeling heard because there's a miscommunication. Something's blocking that from being, it's blinding for both. Blind energy for both. This week, the challenges within communication will create experiences where you may need to remind yourself that your emotional reaction is a choice. You have the power to acknowledge your emotional responses to any situation. You have the power to take time to reflect upon them and check in how these emotional reactions or responses align with how you want to live your life. Do they honor your life goals? Will that emotional response create balance or chaos? What is needed for you to break free of past patterns? This week, you have the free will choice to choose how you want to define your life goals and your emotional connection to them. When challenged in a lack of focus or a potential shift in how these goals look or how you feel working on them, you have the choice to review it and assess its value and worthiness in your life. When you assess the value and worthiness of a life goal and how you feel while working on that life goal, you are looking for the emotional connection to the value and worth of that life goal. What is the impact it will have or could have to your life? Is that fully aligned with what you truly desire for yourself and the life that you are creating? There are 3 messages for quantum growth and helping align with your life goals. Number 1, with the energy of change, you may receive nudges or thoughts to help you build a foundation or set the stage for true abundance that could be realized, that would be realized. These opportunities for reflection and action help you define and know the emotional connection and help you nurture the time and space needed to work on these goals. So it's noticing the nudges and the thoughts that help build a foundation, build a momentum that helps set the stage towards abundance. Noticing reflection is needed, quiet moments to do inner reflection. Noticing that action is needed will help you, and knowing the emotional connection to those life goals will help you nurture time and space that you need to work on the life goals. So it's not necessarily just defining the life goal and the emotional connection behind it. It's actually working on them. And if you know the emotional connection to them, you'll be able to nurture the time and space, create the time and space that you need to work on the goals, to actually do what you need to do to bring them into reality. Number 2, igniting or creating change in your life will require you to intentionally choose actions that will emotionally align with your life goals. Is this how you want to present yourself or be? Be present in your life. Is this how you want to present yourself or how you want to present yourself? Or Is this how you want to present yourself, or is this how you want to be in different situations? Will doing this help you move forward towards the abundance you have and the emotional connection you knew was worthy of following? That's a good question. Will doing this action that you're planning on doing at any point in time this week, will it help you move you forwards, move you towards that abundance and that life goal? And are you feeling the emotional connection that you knew was worthy of following when it came to that life goal? There is an experience this week that may reflect significance, that shine light onto why these emotional connections matter. So if you don't get it, or even if you do, there will be something that will happen that will reinforce that, so that you'll understand why the emotional connections to a life goal matter. This may be a life goal successfully achieving abundance, or it could be a lack of focus when trying to take action upon a life goal. How did that life goal feel? Was the emotional connection to it defined and aligned with your heart's desires? So if it was an abundance experience, it becomes apparent that you wouldn't have received that or experienced that abundance if you didn't have some sort of emotional connection that was aligned with it, aligned with doing it, creating it. If something isn't feeling like you're pushing yourself hard to work on something that you felt like you needed to work on, but there's a disconnect that you're feeling, that experience alone, if you feel like you're dragging something behind you, trying to get things done, that experience alone is enlightening to know that there's an emotional connection that isn't working. It doesn't align. What needs to shift? Number 3, knowing why you desire the change in your life, what would ignite a passion within you, and what helps you realize joy while choosing happiness is the key to energy. Is the key to the energy empowering you this week. So if you know why you desire change in your life, if you know what would ignite a passion within you, if you know what helps you realize joy and choose happiness, and allows you to choose happiness, then you're going to be able to let the energy empower you this week. It will be easier. It's your choice on whether or not you will allow yourself this opportunity. You have the power to align with your passions and know the significance of why you are so passionate about specific situations, dreams, and goals. It's your choice. It's your choice on whether or not you are going to allow yourself to get to know yourself at that level. Take care, everyone. Please comment. Let me know what resonates with you. Let me know throughout the week how you're doing. Are you allowing yourself to flow with the energies, or are you in resistance somehow? Take care. Much love. Do like, share, subscribe.